What is up, YouTube? Alright, I'm not going to talk too loud because, people in the apartment are out and about. I'm just going to shut this off. Today is a different kind of video. Today I'm going to be doing a short interview with myself and starting a small series, 3-part series, this is part 1, about my life. Because I feel it is important to have 100% honesty with your viewers and never to actually lie and show them a fake you. So, we'll start off with a quick interview. I am 20 years old. My full name is Cody Michael Paul Powell. My birth certificate name is Cody Michael Powell. Paul would be my confirmation name. If you don't know what that is, it's just a name you choose from being a Catholic, my religion. But Cody Michael Powell is full name. I have been skating for 7 years. My favorite tricks, one I can do now, my favorite one to do is board slides fakie on rails. That definitely is my favorite trick to do right now. Favorite trick that I want to learn, have always wanted to learn, is a Benihana. I actually can get really close with them, but they're a trick I've always wanted. Favorite skaters, Sean Malto, because he always looks like he's having fun, and Chris Cole, because he has been killing the game since basically kind of before I was born. Favorite video parts. Guy Mariano, Pretty Sweet, is my absolute favorite video part because he does some mind-bending, crazy stuff in that. Favorite video will always be Fully Flared Lakai. That one is absolutely amazing. That's about it for the interview. We're going to get into my childhood. Okay, so I was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's kind of the biggest city in the small cities that I live in. World renowned for the coal it produced like many, many years ago in the 20s to like 40s. Now we're not known for really anything. I was raised in a 1.5 story house. I'm going to insert a small video and a photo of the house I was raised in right now. I lived a basic life with my family. We were a very low income family. My parents worked basically minimum wage jobs for quite some time. Now that I'm older and I see what they actually had to do to try to make me and my brother happy, I have such a respect for them. They actually used to take our Christmas presents from the year before and then rewrap them because we were so little we had no idea. And we believed that that was a new toy for us. Me and my brother lived in the half a story, like our rooms were upstairs, and we lived in the attic that had massive slopes in it. So when I was a little older, usually when I wake up, I'd hit my head off the slope because our beds were against the walls. But I actually really, really loved that house. It was small, but it was ours. Couple stories from when I was a kid. When I was 8 years old, my arches fell. If you don't know what that is, it's the side of your foot. It's a muscle that allows you to walk up straight. My muscle had kind of collapsed. They call it collapse, but it kind of disintegrated and just disappeared. So ever since then, I've had intense pain in my feet. Basically, I can do 8 hours a day with specialty insoles in my shoes at work, or I can do about 10 minutes of walking barefoot. But it seems like anytime I step on my skateboard, all the pain just drips away. And the second that I step off that piece of wood, the pain comes back. So that's usually why after a long session, all I want to do is keep skating because the pain's no longer there. As years went on, I went sledding at my dad's work when I was, I want to say about 10 years old. And I hit a tree on the sled. And I actually fractured my back in 3 places. Actually, that's why I'm not skating today. I ended up straining my back because I have a lot of back problems now since then. And I ended up straining it helping Austin do some stuff last week. So I haven't skated in a week and I kind of want to get back on my board, but I don't want to keep a constant pain. But on this sled, I went down a massive hill, I turned backwards, and I can remember hearing kind of like my memory is slow motion. It sounds weird, but everyone's screaming tree, and then just darkness, an internal darkness. And not like the darkness when you close your eyes. That's not how it was. This was a darkness without thought. The way, truthfully, I'd probably subscribe. I can't ever talk. I would describe it is exactly as purgatory. I don't know if any of you have ever had a concussion where your brain shuts down, but that's how it feels. And when I had woken up, I could see the ambulances coming, and my brain hadn't started yet, so I was very delirious. I tried to sit up a few times. Definitely worst mistake of my life and the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. But I ended up going to a school kind of in the ghetto, we'll say. I might have lived in a low-income suburban area, but the school where we went to was a mix of that, like suburban area and ghetto. One story I'd like to share is about a kid, Hassan. And Hassan, if you see this, I really don't care actually. Hassan was the bully of the school, in my elementary school. And all he ever wanted to do was be an athlete. But he went the wrong way of doing it. Instead of being friends and, just being slightly better than people, he would have to prove to you that he was the best. And my elementary school didn't have a playground. We didn't have anything special. We had a 25 by 25 foot concrete slab with one brick wall, one concrete wall, and a basketball hoop. That is all we had. And we had one basketball until I would think I was in 5th grade, one basketball. So the story I'd like to share was about I had gotten out for recess. This is so surreal to think of this now, but I had gone out for recess before everyone else. Like, I was just let out of my class and that. So I was shooting hoops, and I got the only basketball. And Hassan came down and picked a huge fight. And if you guys ever meet me, I'm never one to back down, and I'm never one to stay down. And that's just how things go with me. I don't like giving up, ever. So he picks a huge fight, and I said, come on, get 30 minutes, let me shoot some hoops. And I remember his cousin was with him. His cousin's name is Aki, and they both kept hitting me until I fell. So they knocked me to the ground. And when I went to go get back up, Hassan ran over and started kicking me in the stomach and the face. And Aki never really wanted to be a bully. He wanted to be friends with everyone who he could be. But Hassan kind of forced him at that age to be one of his cronies. And I think I tried to get up a total of 3 times. And I would get to about my knees and go to put a foot underneath me, and they'd come back over and just start kicking me again, and kicking me and kicking me. And years later, Hassan actually moved to the second school I went to. And Aki shook my hand, 10 years later, apologized and gave me a hug and said that he is so sorry for what he did to me, and that he really hopes I could forgive him. And me and him, for the few years in high school, were actually decent friends. That apology really did mean a lot to me. Hassan said he was never a bully in his life. He had never laid a hand on me, but next time he sees me, he will wreck me. I guess some people don't grow up. But I remember in elementary school, just the schoolyard brawls were insane. I had my group of dudes, Hassan had his group of dudes, and the brawls were just crazy. Especially when I went to middle school over there. I was there for 1 year in middle school, and it was in South Scranton, which if you lived in this area, and that you would understand that that's a really bad place to be, because South Scranton is considered such a ghetto place. And their entire middle school was just ran with wannabe people who wanted to be the Bloods and the Crips, which kind of rules South Scranton. One's from West Scranton, one's from South Scranton, but Bloods and Crips is the entire side town over there. And the uniforms you had to wear was red, white, and blue, and I owned only a couple white shirts, so I got jumped a decent bit for the red and blue, and there was nothing you could do about it. Kids were arrested all the time. To enter the doors, you actually had to be wanded and patted down and have your bag searched. You could not carry a backpack around the halls, and we had 4 police officers carrying guns at all times in the school. So when I moved to Pittston and I entered in to like this school, it was very, very weird because I went from this ghetto multicultural school to basically an all-white school. I think there was like 3 or 4 black kids, and security was like really low key, and everyone just seemed different. So that one was a curveball. That one took a while to get used to. And when I first made my first few friends, I would ask them, "We don't get patted down, we don't get searched," and they'd laugh at me, but I was dead serious. So I'm gonna stop the video here. Part 2 is going to be my young teenage life. Part 3 is going to be late teens to 20s. So I hope you guys actually enjoyed listening to me ramble on about my life. That's basically all this is. I just want to show you guys who I truly am, where I came from, and some things about me. I think I might just release these one a week. I'm not entirely sure. Some things might happen and have to be mortgaged around. And then of course once all 3 are up, I'm going to put them in their own playlist. But as always guys, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I hope you guys enjoy hearing stories from me. Let me know in the comments, and as always, have a great day.